So you're thinking about living in Bloomington, Minnesota? Well, in this video, we're going to let our fingertips do the walking and Google Maps do the talking. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to walk you through and show you some of the best kept secrets of Bloomington, Minnesota. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything that there is to know about Bloomington, Minnesota, well, you have found the right place. Click that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and smash that like button on the way in so you can be the first to know about the current market going on in Bloomington, Minnesota. Now, my name's Garrett Hilton. We get calls, texts, emails every single day from folks just like you looking for help to make their move to Bloomington, Minnesota, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're making your move in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd be happy to make your move to Bloomington, Minnesota a smooth one. Oh, and don't forget, all of our information is in the description below. All right, guys, here we go. We've got a lot of information to cover, a lot of material, and a very short time to do it in because I want to be respectful of your time. So let's get right into it. What you're looking at on your screen right now is actually what I see as a real estate agent that's licensed in the state of Minnesota. When I'm looking for properties for you and we're checking it out, we have the opportunity to be able to weed out the yuck that that you're going to have to weed through if you choose not to work with a real estate agent and are searching on websites like Redfin and MLS Online and Zillow and CobaltBanker.com and EdinaRealty.com and all those others. You're going to get all the stuff. You're going to find places that say that they're for sale, but they're really not. But technically, the lead website that you're looking at can say that they're potentially for sale, so therefore they're allowed to puff that it is indeed a possibility for you to be able to buy. And in many cases, they posture it as it's for sale. But then if you look in the small print, it'll say not active on the market. So when I'm looking for properties for you, I'm going to be looking for stuff that is only active on the market. But let's go one level deeper. If you watch my mouse over here, we've got things like A, R and A, I. Well, what does that mean? A, I, perfect example, super simple one, is active with an accepted offer subject to inspection, meaning seller's already agreed to something and that person has some business they got to clear up before it's really true blue finally on its way to the closing table. So it's still kind of a possibility, but from a realtor's perspective and me representing you specifically and exclusively, that's not necessarily one that we really want to be looking at unless and this is what I do on a regular basis when we're setting up showings, is you call the listing agent and just say, hey, does it look like this sucker is going to actually get to the closing table? Which they may not actually want to talk to you about that, but they would be willing to share that with me, where kind of take their temperature a little bit. That's not a for sure thing, but I can get some cases, I can get a gut reaction from them. If it's, if it's looking like it's good, or maybe it's going to fall apart or whatever, if it's going to be an option for you. We want to make sure that if you're coming from out of town to in town to be able to look at homes, that I'm showing you stuff that is for sure true blue active, that if you walk in the door, Garrett, I love it, I want to write an offer, that I know that there's a good chance you're going to be able to get that property. So as you can see, we've got 62 possibilities that are homes available right now in the city of Bloomington. And now what I will do for you as your real estate agent is we'll go back through and we'll tighten the search up just a little bit. We want to make sure there isn't any offers on it so that you're not wasting your time. We want to make sure that it's not subject to an inspection. We want to make sure that it's not subject to an application. We want to make sure that it's not already accepted purchase agreement subject to another property or sale of another property, meaning if there is a property to be sold, it's not necessarily not sold. So, especially if we're under duress and we need to make a decision in a weekend because you're coming from out of town, in town to be able to really look at stuff and make a decision right then. Now, if we got a little bit more time, in some cases, this can be a bit of an opportunity. Whereas if you don't have a home to sell and we can write a purchase agreement without the requirement of you selling a house, then maybe we can slide in under the radar and get an opportunity at a property where otherwise you wouldn't have the opportunity because you had to sell a property anyways. So therefore, they already got a contingency on it to sell their home. So why would they accept your purchase agreement over this one that they've already got in the boat, so to say? Let's see, subject to financing, we don't want. And third-party approval, we don't want. Okay, and so that's going to be ones that are not. Beautiful. And let's go, is this condos? No, we're just going to do all single family. Yep. So there are 17 single family homes. In most cases, they won't have an HOA or anything. They're just going to be a straight up like a one level rambler or a 2-story or something of that nature. So let's go to results and then we'll go to the map and see that in the city of Bloomington, this is all that's available. Spread out over West Bloomington, East Bloomington, North Bloomington, and South Bloomington. So it's great. We got a really good blend of properties we can go take a look at, which leads me right in once we get started. Let's say we're going to be starting out in the morning. What we're going to talk about next is townhomes. So let's get out of here and head over to, okay, townhomes. So let's go to the map. So it looks to be that we have 13 available townhomes that are currently active on the market. A good example, 285, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage. Another one, 267, 2-bed, 2-bath with a 2-car garage on way West Bloomington. More of the central side, more so on the south side of Bloomington. We've got one for 535, which is a little bit larger. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath with a 2-car garage. Maybe give you a little look-see, shall we? So this would be essentially, I believe it to be like a split side-by-side situation, but it is considered a townhome because it is under a homeowners association. And it's got a really great look, has a walkout basement. Actually, I don't know if you saw that, but if you look back here, that's indicative of having a walkout basement. So this is going to be a very large, back in the day, like late 90s, luxury townhome that was built right off of a hill. See, it's got a fireplace in it. Very, very open layout with vaulted living room ceilings. Yep. There we go. Nice. Oh, look at the buffet in that dining room. Oh my gosh, I've seen this layout before. These places are absolutely massive. 3 beds, 3 baths, 3 very large bedrooms, and it'll have 1 main bath, or like a half, 3/4 maybe, right at the beginning of the unit, just inside the garage, or just inside the unit, right close to the garage, so that you run in, you got to use the restroom right quick. Woo! Bathroom's right there when you walk in. So's the kitchen and the dining room, and it just kind of all flows to the back of the unit where there's a deck out in the back to be able to look out over the hill. So super, super nice layout. Very good to maximize privacy, considering there's only 2 townhomes right next to each other. It's got a humongous deck and some really, really great views. So that's just one of the examples. But how about we do this? Let's check out, because we got a lot to cover today. Let's check out over, let's get rid of townhomes. Let's go to condos. Let's see what we got for condos. Okay, so you're in urban suburbia, so there's going to be quite a few more condos, essentially because we also have the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So stay tuned. As it relates to condos, we've got condos both on the north side, the west side, and the east side of Bloomington, Minnesota. A couple quick examples. Large neighborhoods large condo projects like this off of Portland. It's going to feel a lot like kind of like a 1980s, potentially outdated feel on the inside of the unit itself. 9700 Portland Avenue, they've made a massive investment in modernizing their common spaces, their hallways, etc., like improving lighting, putting new carpet in, doing like textured denim wallpaper. And so it kind of, it occurs way more up to date is probably a good one. Not so out of date. And you got one for $196, very, very affordable price point. Now, generally, when you're seeing affordable price points like this, association dues are going to be a little bit more, and that's because they normally offer a lot more amenities. When they offer a lot more amenities, the association dues are a little bit higher. It tends to hold the prices down a little bit, because then there's ones that aren't as organized, that don't have as many amenities, that you'll see that the prices are way higher because their association dues are way smaller. It's easier for somebody to spend more money. That's kind of how the cookie crumbles. Now let's look over, see on the west-south side. Okay, we got another one just like that. This is perfect, another perfect example. A property that's active on the market for $160. It's got higher association dues, right? Yep, $466 a month. If you got any further questions about that, make sure to put a comment down in the comment section. And we can set up, you can even click and book a Zoom call with me, and we can talk a little bit more if you're someone who's interested in condos. I also have another video that talks a lot about condos in Minneapolis. We'll make sure to put that up on the screen for you. So you can, if anything, see the thumbnail. It might even be a live link. Don't hesitate to try to click on that bugger, and if anything, save that for later. Make sense? All right. Let's head over to the last and certainly not least type of real estate, which would be twin homes. What is a twin home? Generally, a twin home is kind of like what we looked at in that more luxury townhome back when we were talking about that, but except it does not have an association due that follows along with it every single month. Okay, and it looks like we have one twin home available in a price point that's $364,900. It's 3 beds, 3 baths, 2-car garage, does not have an association due, and it's a rather large place. Looks like it's built in the 80s. It's going to be 3 bed, 3 bath, got that 2-car garage, larger side yard. So, and that in many cases, when it comes to twin homes, they got a little bit larger yard. However, you're still sharing responsibilities of the yard, but it still gives you a little more of a privatized feel. Moving on from there, when we do set up our showings to go together, especially in the mornings, and I love getting started bright and early, and there is nothing better than some really good local artisan delicacy type of coffees. A good place to go in Bloomington is Mugshots Coffee Company. They offer coffees, cappuccinos, things of that nature, pastries, ... Really, really great. It's got 4.6 stars on Google Maps. Westside Perk, which is a locally owned branch of coffee shop, and it's not a franchise. It's just a mom and pop type of shop. And of course, as always, you're going to have the Caribou Coffees, the Starbucks, and things of that nature very close at your fingertips, in just a quick hop, skip, and a jump away. So now that we've had our coffee and I'm feeling jazzed up, we want to talk about proximity. And proximity to the home that you're going to purchase, for many people want to know, dude, where are the grocery stores? Well, we're in Bloomington, so let's do that. Let's talk about grocery stores. In most cases, pretty much wherever you go in the city of Bloomington is going to be an Aldi. There's a Kowalski's Market in Bloomington proper. Actually is way on the west side. You've got Cub, Bloomington Lindale, which Cub Foods, if you haven't heard of Cub Foods before, Cub Foods is kind of our very price conscious, corporatized, big box grocery stores. It's not like Walmart big box, so it's like a little bit more intimate. However, they do have a really, really great price point that rivals Walmart on a regular basis. There's other stores like Sam's Club. There's a Sam's Club and a Costco, quite a few. I think there's 2 of them. One is on, I wonder if we've got Costco right here so we can show the example. There's another Cub, which is technically Edina, but is on just the way north side of Bloomington. So pretty much you'll be able to find a Cub by car within 10 minutes of wherever you're living in the city of Bloomington. Lunds and Byerly's, which is like the upper echelon, or like the Cub Plus plan, is like a grocery store with carpeted floors. They're a little more bougie-wougie. and fancier about like their deli and things of that nature. A lot of the same stuff you'll see at Cub Foods, some different stuff, and it'll be a little bit more artisan, and you'll see a lot more like organic only or gluten-free choices at a Lunds and Byerly's. Kowalski's Market, another great one that would remind me of like a Lunds and Byerly's on the Highland Bridge. You got carpet on the floor. It's a very intimate setting. They've got soft lighting, and it's just a very, very enjoyable grocery shopping type of an experience. In many cases, you don't have 17 through 19-year-old stock boys. If you're looking at it from the old vision of back in the day, this is going to be folks that they've actually chose working at a grocery store. That is their career, and they've been doing it for a long time. In many cases, they've got a lot more product knowledge, as well as knowing where to look for things to make your shopping experience more convenient and efficient. There's just a few examples of that. Let's head on over to daycare. For those of you with kids, I mean, that's something that I've always heard is really, really important. Hey, do I have a daycare by me? Yep, absolutely. Again, anything within 10 minutes, there's also going to be the mom and pop shops where Kaylee or Cheryl down the street or Jim down the street does daycare, and some of them are licensed and bonded, some of them are not. That is a price point question for you and your family to decide from. There's also, like for instance, Bloomington KinderCare. Let's look at that. That one raised its hand. It's on virtually central Bloomington, kind of in the mid-central from north to south and east to west, probably within 10 minutes of anything. Bloomington KinderCare is going to have milestones programs and maybe even offer kindergarten. Kinderplatz, there's another one. It's a daycare center that offers kindergarten and pre-K and things of that nature. Many of those pre-K type of programs, or little Johnny's first school or little Sally's first school, when they're 3 years old, would be going to a Montessori. In many cases, they have very early childhood educational learning, just from your traditional standpoint of education. Multiple Montessoris, Cedar KinderCare, TenderCare, Rainbow Montessori. Yeah, lots of Montessoris. And the cool part with the diverse communities, and we're going to talk a little bit about this when we hit up the religious centers, is that you're going to have that where there's at least one daycare that is 100% Spanish speaking. You're going to have a daycare that's 100% somebody who speaks, in many cases, like multiple dialects of like Swahili, and somebody that would have maybe a home daycare or a small mom and pop shop type of daycare that fluently caters to the Asian dialects. So whether it be primary Chinese or Laotian or Japanese, they have these immersive type of daycares that are over in that area. Super, super great. That's the cool part about living in the urban, suburban communities, because much more dense population, therefore much more demand for diversity, which is super great. That's another thing that you can't shake a stick at in the state of Minnesota. It's so great with the amount of diversity we have. Now, again, going in the morning, let's say we get through, our first three showings, and maybe we show up and there's like 2 showings in a row and we can't get into the 4th one, but you're feeling a little bit hungry. Hey, good places for breakfast in Bloomington, Minnesota. First and foremost, that's close and near and dear to my heart is Taste of Scandinavia. Absolutely amazing delicacies, amazing bakery. They make cakes and they're awesome, and their breakfasts are super simple, all the way up to eggs Benny and biscuits and gravy. Super great daily made fresh biscuits for their biscuits and gravy, and delicious whole sausages, not just sliced up sausage links in some powdery gravy mix. Now, mind you, that does have powdery gravy, does, that it's, mixed with water or whatever. It does have a special place in my heart, maybe not yours, and that's why I wanted to share about Taste of Scandinavia first. And that's more on the east side of Bloomington, but then again, even from the west side of Bloomington, you're only talking about a 10-15 minute drive tops. First Lake Grill House and Cocktails is going to serve a brunch, especially on Sundays. Sunday fun day, baby. Good place to go get brunch. Excellent, excellent. Great. 4.3 stars. If you're getting above 4.1 stars, you're doing pretty darn good for breakfast because people are normally pretty crabby and they leave some pretty crabby reviews if the breakfast place is busy. They just won't go there and they'll just leave a snotty review. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these and you're researching. Above 4.1 stars, probably pretty darn good, especially for a breakfast place. And especially, like, quite frankly, just for restaurants in general. Next up on the list would be attractions in Bloomington, Minnesota. Oh my gosh, for the attractions, we've got ice sculpture places. We've got Richardson Nature Center. You've got the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. So never a dull moment if you so choose not to have a dull moment, because there's nightlife, there's day life, there's weekend life for families. There's multiple pet parks so that you can go exercise Fido the golden reliever. And something that's also great for families with young kids is going to like Legoland in the Mall of America, or seeing some of the cool restaurants, which we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not going to go into super detail about the Mall of America's restaurants. Best for you to book a Zoom call with me and we can go through that at that time. Okay, sound good? Put your name in the comments below, or say, hey, I want to know more about the restaurants at Mall of America or something with Mall of America, and we can set up a Zoom call and I'll walk you through the Mall of America to get you set up for when you do come into town, or if you're living locally in Minnesota and you just want to know a little bit more about some of the newest goings on at the Mall of America, feel free to throw that in there. I'll give you a half hour of time and give you a detailed view in where best to go, because that place is massive. Going back to, or adding to, if you have kids, Water Parks for America. Oh my Lanta. Right there in Bloomington off 494 and Highway 77, also known as Cedar Avenue, headed straight down into Apple Valley, but right by the airport. Water Parks for America is a place that you can stay for the weekend. You can go for just the day. And it's just a really, really great, fun, active thing that you can do, especially during the winter. But of course, they're open year round. And I love that about Water Parks for America. Okay, next, and certainly very important, is our religious centers. For those of you that do follow and organize or observe and organize religious belief that you hold near and dear to your heart, in the state of Minnesota, what is really, really common is Judeo-Christian teaching churches. You know, a community is quite diverse when you're seeing churches like a Life Church, Unity South, where they're more of a spiritual community, spiritually driven, versus Judeo-Christian specifically Judeo-Christian teachings. Of course, you got your standard Catholic churches, Lutheran churches, Methodist churches, all over the city. And again, like I mentioned about diverse culture, Muslim Community Center, Al Rahman is likely, I mean, with a 4.8 star rating, it's probably a pretty inclusive community to offer lots of support to its Muslim observing citizens. Oxborough Evangelical Free Church, the Sikh Society of Minnesota. I'm not quite sure what that is. I believe that's from Thailand. Let's take a click on it and check it out. It's the Sikh religion. Okay. Where you can get books on Sikh religion. I'm not quite sure what that is. So if you got questions, you can go to mnseeks.com. And if you would like, we could actually explore together when we're out looking at homes. So drop that question in the comments down below, and I got you. Bloomington Covenant Church. Let's see. Okay, good. They have another an Islamic center in Bloomington proper. Unitarian Universalist Church, so another one much like that. Lake Harriet Spiritual, Meeting House Church, Eagle Christian Worship Center, which would be Evangelical Lutheran Church or Evangelical Christian Church. Potter's House of Jesus Christ, which would be a smaller sect of Judeo-Christian teachings. Definitely a more intimate experience and more unique services. And again, if you got any questions, drop a comment below, and I will be sure to get back to you, hopefully within 24 hours. And in some cases, just shoot a quick appointment, Zoom appointment that you would like, or make a request. Pick a time that's in there. It just plunks right into my calendar, and it reminds me to be able to meet with you over Zoom. No obligation, no cost to you, the consumer. I'm more than willing to make that type of an investment. Wow, as far as restaurants go, let's talk about that, which is especially second to last, but certainly not least. Restaurant, Bloomington, Minnesota. Already talked about it. Ciao Bella. Oh my gosh. Okay, in Bloomington. Ciao Bella. Amazing, amazing food. They've got 4.7 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty high for a restaurant. That's pretty fan-freaking-tastic. Luna di Luna. I feel like I've been here. Oh yeah, this is an Italian place. Super delicious. Love their loaded spaghetti. I've actually taken a young lady out on a date there before, so it's a good date night location. Lucky 13's Pub, massive place for burgers and like shepherd's pie. Great food. It's even listed above a 4.1. So really good, really good food. Shantytown Grill. Never been there. It's more of basically like a burger sandwich type of joint that's probably going to have pool tables and things of that nature. Fogo Gaucho, Brazilian steakhouse in Bloomington. It's family style buffet, and they essentially just bring around spits, set it on the table, and slice off pieces, cuts of like rare prime rib, well prime rib, those things of that nature. Artisan sausages, really good, like slices of pork chop, and maybe in some evenings they'll have entire spits of shrimp that can slide off the spit onto your plate. You don't even got to move, and they'll have a absolutely gorgeous, delicious salad bar that'll also have hot soups and breads and things of that nature. Plus it'll have the desserts, like where you can get ice cream. I'm not sure if that one particularly has that, but most of them have that just because we love our ice cream. And this is a perfect transition. Let's talk about ice cream. Speaking of ice cream, I think this is a perfect segue into my favorite part of this video, which would be ice cream in Bloomington, Minnesota. So first and foremost, Sebastian Joe's Ice Cream Shop. Phenomenal. Like the Abominable Snowman, the Abominable Ice Cream Man. All right, so let's do a quick click on it. Huge ice cream shop with lots of seating and a great place to go during the summer and during the winter time. Anytime if you love ice cream, which I do, and we can even go, just ask for it. I'll take you to some of the coolest ice cream shops in Bloomington, Minnesota that we're going to talk about today. So one would be Valentina's as well, where you have the scoops of ice cream, like the old buckets where they give you the big scoops. Super delicious. Delicious artisan ice creams. Like ones where you got like the reds and the blue that taste like cotton candy and the yellow that tastes like lemon. Super yummy and really good. Traditional malts and traditional vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry shakes. The Edina Creamery is definitely another one. Super great for multiple scoops and a big old huge waffle cone. Nothing closes out a good day of showings like a big waffle cone filled with 3 scoops of ice cream at Edina's Creamery. It's right on the north end of Bloomington, right on the south end of Edina. And Edina's like, it's one of the border cities on the north side of Bloomington and kind of on the east side too. Grand Old Creamery. Mico Cana is actually a Mexican ice cream place. Super delicious. Really unique colors. Really good flavors. Beard Papa's limited time cream puffs collab with Mashal. Magic and Mussels. What is this? Oh my gosh, they have ice cream puffs and regular cream puffs. Delectables. 4.3 stars. Yep. It's right on North Garden. And that is where... It's right on the south side, right by Haagen-Dazs. But it's a great one. They're in competition, so if Haagen-Dazs is too busy, we could go here at Beard Papa's limited time cream puffs. That's pretty great. I love that.
Hey everybody, Garrett Hilton. Just one last time here. Make sure that you click the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and smash the like button on the way out so you can stay on top of the current market in Bloomington, Minnesota. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart, because I understand that your attention is yours and yours alone. You stay classy.